Hey, buddy, hit that subscribe. Just a sec for you, but it means the world to me. The private room at La Verona Bistro had been booked almost 4 months in advance. Crystal glasses, white linen, and soft jazz humming in the background. Everything screamed perfect. This dinner was supposed to be a big deal. My mom's 60th birthday. A once-in-a-lifetime family moment. 22 relatives packed around a long marble table, all laughing, talking, flexing their lives like it was a competition. I walked in right on time, wearing a charcoal dress my mom once said made me look plain but neat. Nobody noticed. My dad was too busy showing my brother-in-law pictures of his new golf set. My mom was obsessed with my sister Lauren's car keys, holding them like they were designer jewelry. Fully loaded SUV, Lauren announced loudly for the third time. Leather seats, panoramic roof, push start. We earned it. I quietly slid into my assigned seat, way down at the far end, next to a 9-year-old cousin glued to his iPad. The seating, of course, had been strategically planned by Lauren. I was placed as far away from the birthday queen as humanly possible while still technically attending. That's when Uncle Ray showed up late, slightly out of breath, tie crooked, briefcase still in hand. He was my dad's younger brother, a high-powered tech lawyer from California who only came around once or twice a year. Unlike most of my family, he actually knew what I did for a living. His eyes scanned the table, then lit up when he spotted me. "There she is," he said, making his way straight toward me, completely ignoring the empty seat next to my dad. We hugged, and before I could stop him, he said loudly, "So, how does it feel selling that patent for almost $4 million? The room didn't just go quiet. It froze. Lauren's mouth hung open. My dad's hand stopped mid-reach. My mom's smile cracked like glass. "What patent?" she whispered, but somehow everyone heard it. I took a slow sip of my wine. Uncle Ray, totally unaware he just dropped a nuclear bomb, kept going. "That moisture detection tech you built? Absolute game changer. Agriculture companies are already lining up. You're about to change how drought zones operate." My dad finally spoke, his voice tight. "You sold something for $4 million? 3.8, I said calmly. "Last April." My mom clutched her napkin like it was a life raft. "That was almost a year ago." 11 months, I confirmed. Lauren snapped back first. "You're lying. You work at a library." I smiled slightly. "I'm a research chemist. I've been one for 6 years. The library job was during grad school." Uncle Ray looked confused now. "Wait, they didn't know?" The silence after that question hit harder than anything else. And that's when I realized this dinner wasn't going to end the way anyone planned. But what my family didn't know was why I never corrected them, and why the next thing Uncle Ray revealed would completely destroy the image they had built of me for years. Uncle Ray's eyebrows pulled together slowly, like he was finally reading the room. "They didn't know," he repeated, quieter this time. My dad leaned back in his chair, jaw tight. "Know what exactly?" he asked. I set my glass down carefully. My hands weren't shaking, but my chest was tight. They didn't know about the patent, or the company, or the PhD, or any of it. My mom blinked fast, like her brain was buffering. "You have a doctorate?" she asked. "Since when?" 3 years, I said. "MIT, Materials Science and Chemical Engineering." Lauren laughed, sharp and nervous. "Okay, wow, this is getting ridiculous." Uncle Ray straightened up. Now he was fully in lawyer mode. "I've handled her intellectual property portfolio since her second year of grad school," he said. "She's one of the smartest people I know." That's when plates of appetizers arrived. Perfect timing. Like the universe was trying to give everyone an escape. Nobody touched their food. My mom looked at me like she was seeing a stranger. "But you never told us," she said softly. I nodded. "I did. Over and over." Lauren scoffed. "No, you didn't. I invited you to my graduation." I continued calmly. "You didn't come. I mailed you my dissertation. You said it was very thick. I called when my first patent got approved. You said you were busy with Lauren's housewarming party." My dad rubbed his forehead. "That doesn't sound right." "It doesn't sound right because you weren't listening," I said, The words hung there, heavy, uncomfortable. Uncle Ray exhaled slowly. When she sold that patent last year, he said, she called you first. She was crying. My mom's face drained of color. Crying, why? Because she wanted to share it with you, he replied. And you put her on speaker while watching Lauren's kid's soccer game. You said, that's nice, honey, and hung up. I swallowed. That memory still burned. Lauren pushed her chair back slightly. This is insane. Why are we even talking about money? Not everything is about success. I looked at her. You told me I was 31 with nothing to show for my life. You suggested I apply at the store you managed so you could put in a word. She opened her mouth, then closed it. My cousin Maya, halfway down the table, finally spoke. She's not wrong, she said. You've done this for years, Lauren. You always had to be the better sister. My dad slammed his fork down. So what? You've just been living some secret life. I shook my head. No, I was living my life. You just weren't paying attention. The silence after that was brutal. My mom's voice cracked. I never meant to make you feel invisible. I know, I said quietly, but intentions don't erase impact. That's when I reached into my purse. I pulled out a cream-colored envelope and slid it across the table toward my mom. Happy birthday. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Inside was a check for $50,000. Her breath caught. What is this? A gift, I said. Dad mentioned wanting to redo the kitchen last year. This should cover it. My dad shook his head immediately. We can't accept this. But his eyes never left the check. You can, I said. No strings. You're still my parents. Tears spilled down my mom's face. Real ones this time. I failed you, she whispered. I didn't argue. Uncle Ray rested a hand on my shoulder. She could have walked away, he said gently. She didn't. Lauren stared at the table. Her face flushed, jaw clenched. For the first time in her life, she had nothing to say. But the real shock didn't come from the money. It came from what my mother admitted in front of everyone just minutes later. A confession that would permanently change how our family saw each other. The room was silent, the kind of silence that presses down on your chest. Mom's hands were shaking as she clutched her wine glass. Everyone was staring, waiting. Even Lauren, who usually had a comment ready for everything, was frozen. I have something to confess, Mom began, her voice barely above a whisper. I treated Crystal differently. I favored Lauren. I thought it would motivate her. I thought it would push Crystal to do more. My fork clattered against my plate. Everyone's eyes snapped to me. I didn't flinch. I had rehearsed this moment in my head 1,000 times. Not what she'd say, but how I would respond. Mom, I said gently, you don't get to pretend your favoritism was some kind of motivational tool. It hurt. It stung. It left scars. You made me feel invisible for years. She looked down, tears spilling freely. I didn't realize I was so blind. I just wanted you both to succeed, but I messed up. I see that now. Lauren finally spoke, her voice a low hiss. So this is all about guilt now? You finally notice? Wow, thanks, Mom. Her words dripped venom, but her eyes betrayed a flicker of regret. Tiny, but there. Uncle Ray leaned back in his chair, arms crossed, his expression sharp. This isn't about guilt. It's about accountability. And Crystal? She's been accountable her whole life, without your support. The tension in the air was electric. You could literally feel the years of resentment pressing down on the table. Then I took a deep breath and let my calmness cut through the storm. Mom, I'm not here to shame you. I'm here to fix this. To start fresh, if you want that. Her head shot up. Fresh start? After all the hurt I caused? Yes, I said firmly. A fresh start. No more ignoring me. No more pretending I'm invisible. But it only works if you're honest from now on. And yes, Lauren, that includes you too. Lauren's hands clenched the edge of the table. I could see her mind working, battling pride versus truth. For once, she had no comeback. Mom wiped her tears and nodded slowly. I want that. I really do. And then, just when I thought the storm had passed, Uncle Ray dropped the final bomb. Before you get too comfortable, he said, leaning forward, there's one more piece of information Crystal didn't even tell you yet. Everyone leaned in. Even Lauren, curiosity battling defensiveness, couldn't resist. I know why she never corrected you. I know why she let you believe she was less than. And once you hear it, well, it's going to change everything. The room went completely still. Even the background music seemed to pause. What Uncle Ray revealed next was something my family would never forget. And it wasn't just a secret about money or career. It was a secret about betrayal, loyalty, and the lengths I went to protect a family they never noticed. Uncle Ray leaned back slightly, steepling his fingers. Here's the thing your family didn't know, he said, voice calm but heavy. Crystal never corrected you because she was protecting you. All of you. I raised an eyebrow, letting the words hang in the air. The table leaned in, everyone desperate for details. What do you mean, protecting us? Mom whispered. Ray's eyes met mine. Your daughter discovered some, let's call it financial misconduct, inside the company she sold the patent to. And she could have exposed it. Anyone else would have gone public, made headlines, collected a ton of attention and money. Lauren scoffed, rolling her eyes. What? That sounds made up. I shook my head slowly. Not made up. True. I saw things in their accounts. Tiny manipulations, shady deals. If I had gone public or corrected anyone, our family name would have been dragged through the mud. I stayed silent so that Mom, Dad, even Lauren wouldn't get hurt by association. The air got heavier. My dad's hand twitched. Mom gasped. Lauren's face lost all color. You kept all that from us? On purpose? Dad asked, voice tight, struggling between pride and disbelief. Yes, I said calmly. I didn't want to be the one who caused a scandal. I did it for all of you. Uncle Ray nodded. She didn't tell you because she wanted to shield the family. That takes guts. Something your family never realized. Not until now. Mom's hands flew to her face. I had no idea. I never imagined. Lauren's voice cracked. So everything I thought I knew about being a successful one, it's a lie? It's not a lie, I said. It's perspective. You were focused on visible achievements. Cars, parties, housewarming events. I was working behind the scenes, making sure you weren't blindsided by people who exploit our trust. Uncle Ray leaned forward, his tone sharp now. And that's why she never bragged. Because this family, you've never really listened until the truth slapped you in the face. The room was still. No one spoke. The weight of what I had revealed hung like storm clouds above us. Then my mom's voice cracked again, barely audible. Crystal, why didn't you ever let us see who you really were? Why did it take an outsider to tell us? I smiled faintly, eyes wet but steady. Because I wanted you to see me now. Not the me you thought I was. The real me. And the next step is seeing if we can actually rebuild this family before it's too late. Lauren swallowed hard, looking down. Her bravado had vanished. Even my dad, who usually had an answer for everything, just stared at the table, speechless. Then Uncle Ray added one last piece, just loud enough for everyone to hear. And there's one more thing. Something Crystal did that none of you could have ever guessed. Something that proves she wasn't just protecting you. She was rewriting the rules of how this family survives. The family leaned forward, all ears. You could hear the tick of the clock, the soft clink of glasses. Every tiny sound amplified by suspense. What I did next wasn't just shocking. It would flip every assumption they had about me, my loyalty, and even their own lives. By the time the truth came out, nothing would ever be the same. The room was on edge. Everyone leaned in, waiting for Uncle Ray to spill what I had done. I took a deep breath. Here's the thing. I didn't just protect you. I took steps to make sure this family had a chance to start fresh. All of you. Mom blinked, confused. Start fresh? What do you mean? I reached into my purse again and pulled out a small stack of papers. I've been working behind the scenes since last year. I bought the house next door to yours, fully renovated it. Not for me, for the family. A place where we could live close, support each other, and actually reconnect without the drama. Lauren's jaw dropped. Wait, you bought a house for us? Yes, I said firmly. I wanted a fresh start, a space where we're equals. No favoritism, no judgment, just family. My dad's face shifted. Shock, pride, disbelief all tangled together. You did all of this for us? I nodded. I didn't do it for thanks. I did it because we're supposed to have each other's backs. Something we lost along the way. Uncle Ray leaned back, arms crossed, a small smirk on his face. And if anyone doubts Crystal, remember this. She didn't just build her career. She built a safety net for her family while you were busy thinking she was invisible. Mom's eyes filled with tears. She reached across the table, shaking. I don't deserve this. None of us do. I reached out my hand. You don't have to deserve it. You just have to try. That's the only thing that matters now. Lauren's voice was barely above a whisper, but it carried anger, guilt, and a hint of realization. I thought I was the one keeping this family together. Turns out it was you all along. Maya, my cousin, finally spoke up from the other side of the table. Crystal, you did all this quietly, and we didn't even notice. That takes guts. Exactly, I said, looking around. Guts, patience, and a hell of a lot of work behind the scenes. But it wasn't about proving anything to you. It was about protecting the family. For a moment, no one spoke. The weight of years of neglect, favoritism, and miscommunication seemed to lift just a little. Then Uncle Ray leaned forward, smirking. But before anyone starts patting themselves on the back, there's still one last thing. Something that'll make sure this family never underestimates Crystal again. The room tensed. Even Lauren, who had started softening, straightened up. I smiled faintly, letting the anticipation hang in the air. You're not ready for this one, but it's coming. What I revealed next wasn't just about money, houses, or career. It was about power, secrets, and the ultimate test of trust. By the time my family realized the truth, their world would be flipped upside down. The room had gone deadly quiet. Everyone leaned forward, waiting. Even the background music seemed to fade into nothing. I took a deep breath. All right, here it is. The thing no one in this room expected. Lauren blinked rapidly. What are you talking about? I looked around the table, my gaze settling on my parents first. You all think you know me, that I'm the quiet, invisible daughter who just got by. But the truth is I've been holding something over all of you, something that proves who I really am. Uncle Ray gave me a nod, like he was passing me the floor. I've been funding a scholarship fund, I said, in our family name, for underprivileged students. I did it quietly for 5 years, never told anyone, and it's more than $1 million now. The table froze. Mom's wine glass slipped from her hand, shattering on the floor. Lauren's mouth fell open. You what? Dad whispered, voice cracking. I've been investing, managing, and growing it. I continued. I didn't want attention. I didn't want praise. I just wanted to make a difference. And yes, it's all in our family name. Because despite everything, I still love this family. Lauren's hands were shaking. So, all this time, we thought we were better, and you were changing lives behind the scenes? I nodded. Exactly. And that's why I never corrected you when you dismissed me. I didn't need your approval. I needed to make an impact. Mom's eyes were wet with tears. Crystal, I never knew. I reached out and grabbed her hand. It's not about what you knew. It's about what we do now. Then I looked at Lauren. And you? It's time to stop competing. Stop trying to be the favorite. It's exhausting and it's toxic. We're a family. Start acting like it. Lauren's jaw trembled. She wanted to argue, but the weight of my words and everything she'd seen today kept her silent. Uncle Ray smiled. And that's the point. Crystal didn't just prove herself to you. She proved that real strength isn't about showing off. It's about making a difference quietly and holding your head high while doing it. The tension slowly melted. Mom leaned forward, resting her forehead against mine. I failed you, Crystal, but I want to make it right. I know, I whispered, and you can. Starting now. Even Lauren finally nodded, slowly. Okay, I get it. You've been the adult here, even when you were younger. I let out a small laugh. Yeah, took a while for everyone to catch up. Then Uncle Ray smirked, leaning back. And don't forget, Crystal still has one last surprise. But that's for the right time. Something even Lauren can't ignore. By the time my family saw the final revelation, their entire view of me and our family would change forever, and the ultimate twist was about to leave them speechless. The tension in the room was unbearable. Everyone was hanging on my next words. Even the youngest cousins were staring, sensing something big was about to drop. I leaned forward, letting the weight of the moment settle in. There's one last thing I need to tell you. One final piece of the puzzle. Mom, Dad, Lauren, all eyes on me. Uncle Ray just smirked, like he'd seen this coming all along. During the last year, I said slowly, I didn't just sell my patent or invest in scholarships. I bought the company that had been mismanaging my tech from the start. I turned it around, hired ethical leadership, and I made sure that every employee, every stakeholder benefits from fair practices. The room went silent, the kind of silence that feels like it could crush you. Lauren finally broke it. Wait, you own the company now? I nodded, completely, and not for personal gain. For all the people who trusted us, who believed in innovation, who deserved honesty. That's the difference between making money and making an impact. Dad's hands were shaking. Mom's jaw hung open. Even Uncle Ray raised an impressed eyebrow. And I added, letting a small smile play across my lips, I didn't tell you all because I wanted you to see me, not my achievements, but my heart, the choices I made, and the family I wanted us to be. Mom reached across the table, tears streaming. Crystal, I'm so sorry. I didn't see it. I didn't see you. But I do now. I promise to do better. Lauren's face softened. I can't believe I judged you all this time. You've been the one holding it all together, quietly, while we were busy competing. I smiled gently. It's okay. All that matters is now. We have a chance to rewrite how we treat each other, to start fresh, to actually be a family. My dad finally spoke, voice thick with emotion. You've taught us more than we could ever teach you. I'm proud of you, Crystal. Truly proud. Even Lauren nodded, wiping a tear from her cheek. Yeah, me too. Uncle Ray leaned back in his chair, smirking. And that, my friends, is how you turn an invisible daughter into a legend, without even trying. I laughed softly, feeling the tension melt. For the first time in years, the family felt whole, real, equal. Mom reached for my hand. Then Lauren joined. Dad's hand found mine, too. We sat there, holding each other, finally connected. Not through favoritism, not through money, but through truth, understanding, and love. And in that moment, I realized something. All the years of being ignored, underestimated, and overlooked had prepared me to do exactly what needed to be done. I had built not just a life, but a legacy. And my family, they were finally ready to see it. Some families break under the weight of secrets. Ours? We broke barriers, rebuilt trust, and learned that love isn't about attention. It's about action, loyalty, and courage. Crystal, the invisible daughter, had become the glue, the guide, and the game changer. And that was a story no one in the family would ever forget.